Can you hear me?
I can. Here we are, yet again, different locations around the world.
Look at that. Both places, sort of barren and moonscapey.
Very moonscapey.
How is
Lunar-esque.
how is barren moonscapey Chicama?
It's really amazing. Um, I got sick. I'm coming out of it just today, but I got sick a day and a half ago. So that's been put a big kink in the plans.
What kind of disease?
Body aches and then alternating night sweats and chills.
Mm,
Sore throat
low
too.
low energy.
Very low energy. So no fever. Stomach is totally fine. We arrived on Wednesday, surfed Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, the waves are small on Thursday, so woke up, surfed Thursday morning, and then didn't surf through the rest of the day. But Thursday night, I was going to sleep, and I'm like, man, I just feel achy. I don't feel right. Like maybe I'm just still recovering from the travel or something. Fell asleep at 9, and at 10 o'clock, woke up fully sweated, like,
Ooh, yeah.
you know, where you drench the bed?
Yep, I know that kind. The real tropical fever.
It's brutal, and it's
Yep.
not tropical here,
No, no,
like
but
it's
but you catch that tropical fever, the one that you catch in the tropics and just drench beds.
I know it's very uncomfortable. So all night long, it was like maybe sleep for 30 minutes and then wake up and have to like switch to a different side of the bed. And then you're freezing. So I was like doubling up the comforter, like folding it in half. So I had double layers of comforter because I was that cold. And then I'd sweat through that. It was brutal. So, anyways, didn't get any sleep that night. And then yesterday, spent all day in bed recovering. So much sleep that I was like, I'm going to watch a couple of movies today, probably. I got nothing to do now. I only watched one movie throughout the day because I'd watch 10 minutes of it and fall asleep. And then an
Mm.
hour, 2 hours later, wake up, watch 10 more minutes, fall back asleep. So it was a long day of rest yesterday. Slept good last night. Think I'm recovering now.
Are you blaming someone on the plane or are you blaming someone in your crew? It's
I
always
think
fun to play the blame game when it
I
comes to who got me sick.
I think the plane is the only way to blame.
Mm. You
I'm the
don't,
only one.
there's nobody on the crew that you would like to blame. Somebody that you can just look at with a little squinty, angry eye. Just, you did this to me.
If any of them were sick, maybe. I actually don't play that game in general, to be honest, because that's just the way the world works, right? Sometimes you're sick, you get sick from somebody else, sometimes you give it to somebody else. No need to point the fingers back and forth. It's just, it is what it is.
I'm so glad that you are on that side of the thing. Where that game really gets extra layers of animosity is when kids start getting sick and parents start
Yes.
judging each other's like you sent your kid to school sick, then you got my kid sick, and they won't ever say it, but the low level animosity of just you're a bad parent, man. You're just a bad parent. That's I can't say anything else.
I understand why they do that. I don't do that, but certain kids who, there are certain kids who you see who just always have that snotty nose and
Yeah,
always are sneezing. And it's like, that kid's always sick. He's not being taken care of enough, basically,
yeah,
is and then you judge the parents for that.
that's true. That's true. But are the waves pumping now? Are you looking out your window at the waves? Do you have that kind of view in your hotel in Chicama?
I totally do. I would love to turn the camera around to show you, but it is all white, washed out in white. You can't see it through this camera.
Is it
Um,
pumping today?
it kind of is. Yeah, it's head high and definitely roping for like hundreds of yards. So there's a point that I'm looking out at, and then behind that it goes into another bay, and there's another point out there. So we surfed that secondary point the first 2 days just because of the direction of the swell. And now it's doing a thing where this point is breaking. And on a certain swell direction and size, it'll break from one all the way through to the other. So it's nice to have it directly out in front of the hotel now. And it is definitely, I mean, I wouldn't say pumping, but it's doing its thing.
How many kilometers since you're in Peru do you have to paddle at
I have no
Chicama?
idea. I have no idea on kilometers, but it's a ton of paddling. But the other incredible thing is they have boat service,
Ooh,
which
so you catch a ride?
yeah, I kind of turned my nose up at it before we came. Like they said, this
Yeah,
is available to you. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like if it's convenient, I'll do it. But I don't want to
by
rely on
arms.
it.
Yeah.
Um, but they're really, really good at it. And there's no reason to waste your energy paddling if they're right there to grab you. I mean, I'm looking right now in the lineup. There's probably 7 boats total. There's Zodiacs. One, two, three. Yeah, like actually 9 boats. And they'll take you out and drop you off, which is super helpful for that initial paddle. And they drop you off like right in the where you want to catch a set wave. And then they're not going to track every single rider, obviously, and pick them up. But if you are on the far inside, there's almost inevitably a boat, given that there's 7 or 9 of them, there's almost inevitably a boat there within 3 to 5 minutes of you kind of finishing your ride to where they'll then just grab you and take you back to the top.
Fantastic. What a place.
I know it's crazy. What you don't anticipate is the hardest freaking part is climbing into that boat.
Oh yeah, climbing into a zodiac from where your feet aren't touching the floor on the or the sandy bottom is a tough one.
I want to
Hoisting.
take
It's a
it.
lot of
Yeah.
hoisting.
Well, I could do a pull up,
Yeah.
but this isn't a pull up. There's no bar to hold on to,
No.
So it's like a slippery, um, you know, whatever, pliable, soft edge of the boat. And there's a rope you can grab onto, but even the rope gives. So it's not like just doing a pull up. But I was thinking we should take up a offering from everybody who is on this trip and just invest in buying these guys little ladders.
Oh yeah, little boat ladders you throw over.
Totally.
They have
Super
them.
easy fix. I
Yep.
know.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what the most expensive stuff on the face of the earth is. Small boat stuff. If you go into the store, West Marine, have you ever been into a West Marine?
I know it well, but no, I have not.
One of those little boat ladders. It's just like an aluminum little thing, fold little thing. One of those will probably run you like 16,000 bucks. It's insane how much they can charge for small, I mean, yeah, just little nifty stuff for a
Is
boat.
it because they know you're in the boat business or you're in
I,
the boat game and you got money?
I think they know you're in the boat game. I think they know you're not going to go like it has to be a certain way. You can't just reconstitute, a camping ladder, let's say, or a
Yeah.
anything else. So it's specifically tooled for a boat. And they know you're not going to go tool one yourself. So we got you
Yeah.
over a barrel with your boat and your ladder.
I feel like West Marine really has a monopoly too.
Sure do, man. It is, and it is, yeah, the most expensive place on earth.
Crazy. All right, well, let's get into surfing as I watch the waves and try not to commentate on that. I think we should open up by just taking a moment of appreciation for our new surf hero, David Bean Coffee.
How good is David Bean coffee? I
It,
feel that we must have met David Bean Coffee at at one of the Florida Surf Film Festivals. Doesn't he look familiar?
only in the way that
All
he
the people
looks,
from New Smyrna look
yeah,
familiar.
he looks like a Floridian basically.
Yeah,
He's like, if you put into Chat GPT, give me a image of a 60-year-old surfer from Florida whose name is David Bean Coffee. That's what they would come up with.
for those who don't know, David Bean Coffee is 72 years old. He was out surfing somewhere New Smyrna adjacent, um, and heard shouts for help. And so went and paddled over and saw a distressed father and son caught in a rip. And so paddled the son into shore and then went and got the father, paddled him in, saved the day, saved 2 souls on a fine Florida day. And then I looked at a picture of David Bean Coffee and the fact that his name is David Bean Coffee. I mean, Bean is obviously his nickname, but it's really the funniest part is uh, if your name was last name Coffee, why would your nickname be Bean? Because it's not like if his last name was Bean, I could fully get your nickname being Coffee Bean, right?
Yeah.
But Bean Coffee is then how he would be referred to. And so I don't know why there's other things you could put on in front of coffee as a nickname, right? His nickname could be Black. His nickname could be French Roast. His nickname could be I'm, Espresso. It could be anything, right? But Bean Coffee, hilarious. But also then I clicked on a picture of Bean Coffee and he looks exactly like our dear friend Joel Tudor.
Kind of does. I think his nickname became Bean because his hair, the shape of his head with his hair, he looks like a coffee bean. If you saw him from behind without his face, you would think there was a coffee bean on somebody's shoulders.
Yeah, real
That's what
funny.
it is.
Yeah, that's why his nickname is Bean. It has nothing to do with his last name being Coffee, or only tangentially.
No, I mean, really, if his name wasn't Coffee, they'd still call him Bean.
He'd be,
Although, although there are a lot of different types of beans, and he doesn't look like all of them. So I guess there
yeah,
is a connection. Yeah,
he does look
that
like a
just
coffee
this
bean.
the screenshot itself should become a meme.
Yeah,
You know,
it's epic.
it's really, really good. So yeah, hero, we bow down in
Yep,
praise of you,
Dave Bean.
David Bean
I mean
Coffee.
Bean Coffee.
We'll never forget. Also, just for anybody who is tracking Hurricane Erin, I know there's been lots of clips kind of sprinkled through the internet or Instagram. Surfline did an amazing job recapping the entire thing. They just put out 22 hours ago a video on their YouTube channel, and it's like a 18-minute recap of the swell. Shows footage from, I mean, everywhere from like Norway to Florida and everywhere in between the Outer Banks, and it or Puerto Rico, like down there. It's incredible. They did a really good job explaining the weather system and how it worked, and then great surf clips that they just cobbled together from everywhere.
Good job, Surfline. If Surfline did more of that, it would make me want to subscribe, to be
Well,
quite frank. Because I don't
I'm
care about their poor AI generated surf reports are no longer interesting, right?
I'm always confused at exactly what they are doing. Like I was shocked to see that they did this now
Yeah.
because I thought they were kind of done doing this.
Yeah, I think they had pivoted away. I think they went all into content creation. That's the future. We're going big content creation. And then they decided a few years after that, or months, that's not the direction. They fired all those people. We're a forecasting business. We're a subscription. Let's just get people to subscribe to our forecast. But then their forecasts are honestly garbage, right? Like I mean, AI generated junk is what got at the end before I stopped entirely looking at it. But now they're back to content. So good for them. That's what they should do.
Well, that's why I'm surprised to see this is I know that they fired, certainly the editorial staff, and I presumed, I guess maybe I didn't know for a fact about video production staff, but I just presumed that was part of it. Um, and then they do the Maps to Nowhere series, which is excellent. And
Yeah.
now this just popped up, and like to turn this around so quickly because the hurricane is barely over and it's a big effort. This video is really well done and took a lot of work, clearly. So I'm like, well, clearly they still have staffers doing it and they are in the position to do it best. And so it's great to see from them.
Congrats, Surfline. Two heroes at the start of today's show.
Yeah,
Bean
how about
Coffee
that?
and Surfline.
In that order, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, and in other surf news, do you wish that you were on Tavarua right now?
No. I mean, yes, of course. Who would not want to be on Tavarua? But also it's probably fairly annoying. The crew of remaining five on men and women's side would not be I don't know, surfers I necessarily pick to hang out with, more or less. Would you?
I'm not even thinking about that. I like in the winter, everybody would go to Hawaii.
Yes.
I feel like the surf industrial media complex broke apart for 10
Yeah.
years, where it used to be everybody went to one place together. And then if you were, of course, on tour, there was a lot of that going on. But if you weren't on tour and just the whole surf world would converge on Hawaii, I feel like that's kind of been what's happening now. There's a little bit of surf media now back in place. There's the brands, couple of brands still doing it, and now there's all these people here doing it together. So I see parties going down, dinners going down. I'm like, man, looks like a
Wish I was there.
blast.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, I suppose I wish I was there. Old timey surf industry fun.
Well, when you say the top five aren't necessarily who you want to hang out with, you look at Jack Robinson and Jordy pushing their little kids into waves too, and it's like, look at this, it's like a family get together.
That's cute. That's just cute. Do you think those surfers there are frustrated by their forecast? Do you think they wish they could get on Tavarua, get some pumping waves, and get on break?
100%. Yeah.
But
I
also, I
think
guess,
I think they would have opted to get big swell on the opening days and be done with your work for the year and go back home.
But I guess they all get a family vacation alongside the Kelly Slater family, Kelly Slater and his young son, Dow Druku Slater.
Uh, of all the names, when we were trying to guess what his name would be,
Yeah, Dow
never would have
Druku.
landed on this.
Dow Druku. Nobody had that on their bingo card.
Nope, but destined for something for sure.
Do you think Kelly Slater and Dow Druku, et cetera, are going to stay for the contest? I mean, are they
Yeah,
there? Oh, so the World Surf League brought him over. That's what happened. WSL brought him over. Kelly Slater will be in the booth,
I don't think they brought him
providing,
over.
for sure, for sure, he's going to be providing guest commentary. Oh, is it an outer known event?
It is an out and
Yeah,
actually, I don't know if it is or not.
I think it is. I think it's presented by.
It always was, but now that it's a finals day event, I don't know if it is. I could find out real quick.
Uh, but in any case, for sure, the Surf League brought him over. He's going to be in the booth providing that expert Tom Brady-esque guest commentary that we have come to know and love from Kelly Slater.
So it's a Lexus WSL Finals Fiji presented by Corona Cerro.
So no outer known.
It's not out of known. Um, Kelly Slater aside, the actual athletes themselves are paying out of pocket to be there.
Yeah, they are.
It's not like so yeah, if the event is running at the second week, it's costing them more money.
It sure is. But do you think they baked that in? Do you think, I mean, clearly Jordy brought the wife, Jack brought the wife, the family, and this is their family vacation. Kind of. They're gonna hope to what is it? What do you think? Because last whatever, equal 33rd, whatever it is, gets 7 grand, I think, right? On tour. This has all
I
been
haven't done the math in a long time.
this has been broken down fairly recently, but it's 7 grand ish. I think if you get 17th, you get, I don't know, whatever it is, 11 grand, I think. So what do you get if you get fifth here?
I don't know.
Just for showing up. Are you to finals day? Are you banking 40 grand,
I have no idea.
30 grand?
No idea.
You'd have to assume, right?
Mm,
Is it
well,
a winner take?
first place gets 100. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess fifth place must get 20.
Okay.
How much do you think they're paying for their family vacation? And do you think they're paying 20 grand?
It's got to be fairly close for
Yeah.
Fiji.
For the airfare and
Yeah.
all things if you're there for 10 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not, Jordy's not worried about it. Jack Robinson's not worried about it. Certainly Italo's not worried about it. But Gabriella Bryan, Betty Lou, Sakura Johnson, you know, an extra 5 grand goes a long way for somebody
Yeah.
like that, especially if you're hoping to retire off of your pro surf career at some point.
Pricey.
It is pricey. So for
Yeah.
Slater, I also don't think he cares. But from what I understand, he's staying in a yacht off island.
Mm, it's good for Kelly.
So
He's
I don't know
so,
if the WSL is funding that, but
for sure, Kelly is with a billionaire buddy
yeah, there
who
you go.
just wants to be there. And so Kelly is riding that gravy train.
That would make sense. Who's your pick to win it?
Uh, I'm going for Boy Wonder. I'm going for Griffin Colapinto.
Wow.
Yeah. What place is Griff? Is he third?
I think he's third.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that in the smaller conditions they're going to have, possibly restaurants, that he's got the most complete bag of tricks.
Okay.
I think he can out like Lil Surf, Jack Robinson. I think he can out smooth barrel Yago Doro.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not anticipate that pick.
The fact that like I feel if there's Lil Barrels, right? I feel that Yago being a goof will make him look good, but Griff dropping in backside, sticking his rump into the wall of the wave, will be able to get deeper. And that's going to be the difference.
His when you see clips of him, his surfing is flawless.
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue, especially in the smaller waves.
I mean, and if it's gets kind of messy and lumpy or whatever, because the direction's weird, right?
I guess the direction is I have no idea what it even requires. I've never paid attention, but apparently it's obviously a restaurant swell, is what they're
Yeah.
saying.
Yes. So I don't know. I just think that Griff has full bag of tricks. I think yeah. What's Idolo? Is Idolo's fifth?
Idolo's fifth, Jack's four, Griff's third, Jordy's
So
second, Yago
Idolo's going
first.
to burn himself out. Idolo's going to Red Bull himself out by the time he reaches Griff. So it'll go Idolo will beat Jack. Idolo will lose to Griff. Griff will beat Jordy. And then in Griff will win first against Yago. Yago will win second. Griff will win third.
The biggest bummer to me about all of this is that I wouldn't pick Jordy to win over any of these guys, but I
Nope.
spiritually want Jordy to win the most out of anybody.
Yeah, no, Jordy. I mean, just think when it because whoever's coming in third to Jordy, right? Jordy's done. That person's already going to be lubed up, ready to go. Jordy, old and cold. It's just going to
Like
be difficult.
if it's at restaurants, I'd pick Italo over Jordy, or the people behind Jordy. I'd pick Italo over Jordy at restaurants. I'd pick Jack over Jordy, and I'd pick Griffin over Jordy. And if
Yeah,
it's at Cloud Break, same thing. I'd pick each of those guys over Jordy.
it's real
So
sad.
it's a
Jordy
real
Smith got
bummer.
so close. He got oh so close, and he's not even going to end the problem second, right? It'll be a forgettable year, more or less, for him. Like he will
Such a
end
bummer.
fourth.
Such a bummer.
Yeah, sad.
I'm going with Jack for the win.
Really?
Yeah,
You think Jack can take Yago?
for sure, especially if it's at Cloud Break.
Mm, but it's not going to be pumping. We know that for a fact.
Well, it could be still could be 8 to 10 feet. It's just going to be sectiony Cloud Break. But I
Hmm.
just feel like Jack has more experience out there than anybody else. And watching the free surf footage of him out there this past week or two, he is so he's on the best waves and he's surfing them incredibly.
Did you tune into the free surf?
I did for part of it, but the waves were crap, so I tuned out.
I did not, but I tuned into Beach Grit's comments later. I threw it up on Beach Grit live comments, and every comment was like, "What? This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life." And then I was sad I missed it. Was it that bad?
Yeah, the waves were crappy. It was like waist high.
But were they announcing it?
Yeah, they had commentators and everything talking about it.
Hmm.
But so if that's the case, if it's either going to be crappy Cloud Break or rippable restaurants, obviously run it at rippable restaurants. But I don't think that's what the case is going to be. It's a lot of swell. So it's either going to be like flawless restaurants or um, peaky Cloud Break that's still going to be 8 to 10 feet. And,
Which would you prefer of those? Flawless
at,
restaurants or Peaky Cloud Break?
well, the problem is flawless restaurants is a rippable wave, and we have rippable waves on tour, and we've seen all these guys do their things in rippable waves. Cloud Break is a totally more challenging wave. And so I think it would do surfing a better service to run it at Cloud Break because it's challenging, basically.
Do were you surprised by young Caity Simmers coming out and saying that Lower Trestles is the perfect place to host a finals day, that Cloud Break is not, and she doesn't know why they moved it there, but it is what it is.
No, I didn't even hear her say that, but to me that just screams she's young
But
and she's one out there, so she wants it there.
her point was, if I am allowed to paraphrase Caity Simmers, uh, that you can go either left or right at lowers, and that it is just like it's the I think what she was getting at is that there's equal opportunity at lowers for everyone. So it's not somebody who's going to just so happen to catch the set wave, right? Or just so happen to be in the right spot for the right thing that will inevitably happen at cloud break.
I don't think that's inevitable at Cloud Break. I think there's lots of days at Cloud Break that there's plenty of opportunities for everyone.
It made me think that we actually don't care. And that's why we also dislike wave pools. We, as surf fans, don't care about fairness. Like,
I
we, part of surfing is getting lucky, right? And
I
so
guess, yeah.
if there's a heat, for example, and say it's Jack and Yago, and Jack is out there Zen mastering waves to him, and he gets one, and Yago doesn't, then we just think, well, Jack won by being a surfer.
Yeah, I think that's true to a certain degree, but I want them to each get equal opportunities to get the scores that they need. And then I want to see the best surfer win. in
I
that
don't care about
scenario.
the equal opportunity.
Really?
If
So
somebody gets fully skunked out there, I think, well, that's surfing, man. That's what makes surfing not baseball.
you would totally be bummed if it came down to the final heat, Jack versus Yago. Jack got two waves, the only two waves of the heat. Yago got zero. You'd be like, that was a bummer. I wish Yago would have got a chance.
I'd say that's surfing. That's what we do.
Yeah, it is what we
Some
do. I
days you
mean,
eat the bar, someday the bar eats you.
but the best days of surfing are when there's plenty of waves to be had.
Sure, you hope for that. You want that. But if that doesn't happen, I don't feel like, well, we got ripped off, which made me, again, back to Caity Simmers. Fairness on the scale of things that matter in professional surfing as a sport, for me at least. And dear listener, call in and tell me I'm wrong. But fairness is like down at 4 or 5 on the things I care
Yeah,
about.
I could agree with that. I think the point Caitlin might be missing is that we also want waves of consequence.
Yeah.
Like it's super boring just to watch ripping surf, like the repetitiveness of ripping surfing is boring. And so lowers, we've seen it. Sorry, I was just saying the point that Caitlin Simmers is missing is we want waves of consequence. We want to see people test their metal, and that's what Cloud Break's for.
And I feel there's enough stops on tour where we see people flex their I don't know, their ability, right? In terms of their technical ability.
Yeah,
Their different degrees on a turn or, busting the fins free or whatever that is. And in general, I don't care about that surfing. I mean, I like that it's on tour, but I don't want it to finish there.
exactly. Which is why I lean towards Cloud Break over restaurants.
Yeah,
Um, Moving on from the WSL, we had a short discussion last week that where we kind of disparaged the longfish and completely discounted boards between 7 and 9 feet.
sure did.
Would you be surprised to know we got a ton of feedback?
No, I can't believe that anyone thought we were wrong there. I thought we were going to be 100% universally correct.
No, more feedback than anything else in a long time, actually. So I'm going to play a
Wow.
call. And then I'll read an email. I won't read all of them, but I'll read you one. All right, here comes the call.
Hey, David and Chaz. This is in reference to episode 334, August 23rd on the grit, and with the question of longfish, barrel or not, basically, right? Well, I live in the Northwest now. I moved here a few years ago from Maine, and I picked up a Christensen longfish from Cinnamon Rainbow Surf Shop in Hampton, New Hampshire, by the way, and great shop. And I'd ridden shortboards, traditional fish, and all sorts of other boards, depending on the conditions. And honestly, the board has turned out to be just a lot of fun. I'd taken it out in hurricane waves in Maine and just knifed into some really fun waves. You go wicked fast, and it's like you got to hold on, but it's kind of fast and loose. You're talking about short and loose, Chaz. And since I moved out to surf the Oregon coast, it's typically a go-to board for kind of the bigger waves in the fall, winter out here. Usually don't go on the biggest days out here, as you know, but usually the smaller days, the winter. But it is so fun. So it is a 6'8" Christensen longfish, and I say barrel on that one. So what say you? All right, get barrel.
Go ahead.
I will say 6'8", right? It is a long fish. Weird, but I still 6'8", under 7.
Under 7. I would also say it doesn't uh it, that doesn't challenge anything of what I said either. I said there's room, I have twin fins that are 6'10", but and I have boards that are bigger than the 9 feet. But where does the longfish design replace my other twin fin that's a 610. That's what I'm
Mhm.
asking. Is
Okay.
like, what is the Longfish design do specifically? Because what a fish design does, my 5.6 version right here, has a certain applicability that I don't understand the stretched out version of how that would replace like my Morning of the Earth twin fin.
Okay. Well, how loose? I mean, because your Morning of the Earth twin fin is pretty loose, right?
No, it's not. It's the Morning of the Earth is a 610.
But
Like,
our dear caller was saying that it's loose, long and loose.
so that maybe that is something that I didn't consider. I don't
So
even know how that would feel.
you get into a wave, right? You can get into bigger, chunkier waves with the length, and then when you're on them, you're looser.
I don't know how you would feel loose on a longer board. I mean, maybe that is the thing that I'm not considering here. Like on the 610 Morning of the Earth, the rails are pretty straight off the back. And so you get drive, the thing goes very fast. You get tons of drive and you can do long drawn out turns, but it's definitely not loose.
Yeah. Okay. But maybe that's what you're missing. Maybe you're missing a little bit of fins free Derek Hind feeling.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that's not how I see those boards being served.
What uh what did the writer inner say?
So there was a couple, but I'll read one. It says, Dear David and Chaz, please come here, take a seat in the living room. We've assembled your friends and family, and we have a few things we'd like to say to you today. But seriously, you guys are great. Love the content and all your takes on surf culture, except this one, all caps, exclamation point. I think we know that the grid's demographic, what the demographic of your show look like. And this group is rapidly aging out of the pointy thruster. You guys holding on to this dream and discounting longboards and boards in the 7 to 9 range is the equivalent to Uncle Rico telling everybody that he can throw a football over the mountain. Alternative boards are the jam and not just for older surfers. Let me give you a few examples. The popularity of the recent electric acid surfboard test with Dave Rostovich. Number two, the influence of Skip Fry's Shaping Tree and all of its branches, Josh Hall, Michael Miller, etc. Number three, the cult-like following of guys like Mark Andrini. Number four, the popularity of Ryan Birch and all of his alternative shapes. This goes all the way back to his rainbow fish part in Cyclic Migrations. And then number five, the John Simon, Ryan Lovelace love machine thing and the popularity of the shapes like the FM and the Haley pin. Number six, the popularity of album surfboards. Number seven, Chaz warming up to the Mini Simmons. Those are a few examples, and there are many more. And it's hard for me to evaluate if this is a growing segment of surfing or uh, or sur of surfing or not, because everyone always seems to say that the surf industry is dying, yet there are more kooks in my lineup than ever before. You guys need to get on board with this. And if you don't, we're going to set you up like Clockwork Orange style with the eyes held open and make you watch Birch on a 14-foot glider on repeat until you're both sufficiently readjusted. Work hardy.
Okay, but once again, I am all about alternative shapes. I love me some alternative. I love mixing it up in my life. And you're right. I love my super mini, my Shea Soma mini super. Uh, I also love my Channel Islands pointy thruster. I also love my Channel Islands mid length. My Mini Simmons is 5'5", pointy thruster 5'11", mid length 6'10". And I understand above the 9, the gliders and all that. I'm saying, what do you need in that 7 to 9 foot range that is not going to be done better by a 6'10"?
So I had the same exact thought with you. I'm like, dude, do you not have to mention the glider? I'm sold on the glider. And
Yeah.
also, album surfboards and all of what you've said, I've been the biggest proponent. I've interviewed almost all the people that you referenced, and
Yes.
I've got boards from them. So I'm all in. Don't understand the longfish because I've never had one. I never had one. Somebody explain it to me. Number two, though 7 to 9 doesn't fill a void in my quiver. That my 6'9", 6'10" can't do, or bigger board can't do. But what I have discovered here at Chicama is a buddy saying, um, yeah, I brought my small 7'6" fish. I was like, what? And he said
Yeah.
small 7'6" fish. And it's like, oh yeah, most of my boards are 9 foot and over because he's older. So older people of a certain height and weight, you got to scale everything up. So
I
while
get that.
you and I top out at 7 feet or shorter than 7 feet, there's other people who are just tapping in at 7 feet, and then
I'd
everything's up from there.
so I get like I will hold space for the man who is 6'7", 330 pounds to have a shortboard in the 8-ish foot range, right? I'm gonna say that is so far the outlier. Uh, you like once again, and getting older, aging demographic, needing more foam, all that stuff. Let's assume here, we're gonna assume that we're all roughly between 5'8" and 6'2", and we are gonna assume we're all weighing somewhere between 150 and 240, right?
Easily. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm saying in there, you don't need anything above 6'10".
What you're misunderstanding is age demographic. I think over 55 is where you start. 7-0 starts looking very reasonable for you.
Because you still don't want a longboard, but you need to paddle.
Yeah, you want the paddling and you need the extra time to get to your feet, I think is mainly what it is. So you need stability and paddleability. And so you're riding a 6'7" fish just to kind of catch waves. And I mean, these waves out here at Chicama, we don't have anything like it at home, but it's you need they're
Foam.
slow but fast.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of running down the line, but there's no lip to hit. So it's kind of like a soft wave, but you need energy to go. And like a 7-6 is the perfect amount of board to just lock in low on the low road and just aim it towards the edge, and the thing will just fly down the line, you know? And so if you're 55, I mean, I've seen guys on short boards pumping and making it work. But if you're in your 50s and you can just cruise into the wave, easier to catch these waves with a bigger board for sure. And then once you're in, you find the trim line and you can just hold on, lock in. You're you're flying.
Once again, there's an exception to every rule. Being 6'7" and 400 pounds is one exception. Surfing Chicama as your home break is another exception. But the rule is, and both Dear Caller and Dear Writer have not swayed me whatsoever that the black hole between 6'10" or between 7 and 9 feet should remain a black hole.
Okay. So we had a caller who, let's just say, is, we don't know, he's in his 40s, and he gave an example of a board, a long fish, but a board that was less than 7 feet. And then we had a writer who also didn't fully understand the caveats that were included in last week's conversation. So now we need somebody to call or write in who is in their 30s or let's say sub 55, since that's a number I threw out, who has the argument for a 7 to 9 foot long fish and can explain it to us,
That
where that
doesn't
fills a hole in the quiver.
and that doesn't have to do with I am 6'9".
Right.
It doesn't start there, right? Like we need the person to be of normal height and weight.
Okay. Of an average, the bell curve.
Yeah, like somewhere in there, because obviously if you are a giant or a midget, things change.
Or elderly.
Yeah. Yeah, elderly.
What classifies as elderly nowadays?
Yeah, I mean that's the dang thing. Uh 55, I'm sniffing at 55's door already. So
Do
I
you
guess I'm
get
elderly.
do you get the AARP magazine yet?
When the wife started getting it, I was just like on the floor laughing, and I just went out to the mailbox a couple days ago and saw it was not the magazine, it was a letter addressed to both of us. And so
Yep.
I was like, uh-oh, here I am.
Their outreach team starts early and often, man.
Man, yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We will wait for that to come in. We got some tools to live by for you if you'd like.
Did you Vayer make your trip to
Of
are you
of course. I brought 3 Veyers on this trip.
do you when you travel to foreign shores, I guess you're not that far out of time zone from your normal time zone, but When you travel, do you leave your watch, your Veyer, on home time, or do you dutifully move it forward or backwards?
It's a real point of contention in our home. I always adjust mine to the current time zone. My wife leaves hers on home time.
Smart. If I am traveling to Europe, let's say, uh, I will leave at home time just so I know what time it is at home because you have your phone or other device. You know what time it is where you are generally, right? You don't need to know what time it is where you are, but you do need to know what time it is at home. But yeah, when I was in New York, I shifted for the first time.
Do you need to know what time it is at home? If your family's with you, what do you care what time it is at home?
Well, I'll tell you exactly why for podcasting.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You can always do a quick, I use Google search for that. Just be like, what time is it in Sydney right now? And it tells me.
Yeah, I would often do that as well. But I like the wristwatch, especially if you're right. Especially if I am not with family, then I definitely leave it at home.
Yeah. Okay. Well, question coming in this week. By the way, Veyer, we'll save you 15% on your Veyer by going through VeyerWatches.com/surf splendor. And yeah, enjoy that. Question for the grit. Did I get a lemon? Hello, gentlemen. I have a surfboard dilemma. I've had this board for a few years now and it gets dinged a lot. 6 total dings. 2 were surf related, the other 4 are from wear and tear, I guess. Sometimes I'll unzip the day bag and see the rail cracked. I understand that this could be user error. Maybe I'm just rough on my equipment. However, this does not happen to any of my other boards. So WTF? I've reached my wits end with fixing all of these mystery dings. But here's the kicker: I really like this board. So the dilemma is: do I cut my losses and sell it, or continue to repair and keep the board? Did I just get a lemon? Is there just mismatched juju with me on this sled? Any insight would help. Work, Matt.
I think
Do you have any thoughts on this right out of the gate?
some of the best advice we've ever given on this program is you never sell a surfboard. You can
That's true.
throw a surfboard away, you can give a surfboard away. Selling a surfboard does you no good. What are you going to do with that 200 bucks, right? I
The
mean,
resale value is too low.
yeah, it's just simply too low. And especially if you like the board, what you need to do is the best advice I can give here is stop caring about the dings, stop repairing them. Just ride the board into the ground, ride it, teach it a lesson for being so sensitive, ride it into the
Yeah.
ground and be done with it.
So I was a little confused by this email. 6 dings over the course of years does not seem like a lot to me,
Yeah, but
right?
the mystery of them. And
Well,
clearly, the man we need to help is a fastidious sort. He unzips his day bag. Do you keep your boards in a day bag?
no.
See, so maybe that's it. Maybe he has coddled all his surfboards so long. It's time to stop coddling them.
So my thought was, um, I actually asked a laminator to help me answer this question because
Mm,
my thought was, is there such a thing as a lemon? Like maybe this had a poor lamination job. And
yes.
so that's what's happening here. But I was still confused because he said he surfs this board a lot. So I'm like, over the course of years, you're riding a board a lot. 6 dings does not seem like a lot.
Yeah.
So, anyways, laminator that I asked was Nick Timpone of the wonderful Timpone family, Timpone Surfboards. Jeff is the shaper, Nick is the laminator. They're on Maui, and Jeff's been doing it for over 50 years now.
He would
So
know.
iconic. Yeah. So Nick, his son, who's been the laminator for the last who knows how many years, chimed in and said, well, there could be a reason to believe that the said board is suffering from a suboptimal construction or lamination. I would hesitate to say that this board is a lemon. Regardless of the construction of the board, there are a lot of unanswered questions like the 5 W's and the H. That information would help give us a better idea of the manufacturing methods and materials. But since all that is unknown, here's some things to consider. He's already had the board for, quote, a few years. 3+ years is already a decent lifespan for a shortboard these days, right? He really likes the board. So that means he's surfed it often. Not only does that mean time underfoot, but also time in transit, in and out of the car, the rack, plenty of wear and tear. So considering that Matt keeps his board in a bag and actually repairs the board when it's needed, That kind of rules out excess abuse on his part. But that doesn't rule out crap luck with the board. Sometimes just get beat up more than others, especially if you're using it more than others. It's possible that he likes the board on the basis that it's responsive or lively or both. That could be attributed to a lightweight lamination, but it's hard to say for sure. All in all, 6 dings over 3 years isn't that bad for a board that gets used often. Sure, maybe the blank got a little overshaped, leaving the foam a bit soft, or it got an extra light lamination, or it was built with inferior materials in subpar conditions. But you don't want to sell a lemon on the basis of being a lemon, right? If you like the board, I would just keep riding the board until it falls apart, just as Chaz said. But before you do that, find somebody to build you a replacement. Take it back to the original builder or someone you want. Give them the feedback and get a new one built. Don't sell it. Repair the necessary dings as they come and then ride that board into the ground. Squeeze as much juice out of that lemon as you can. Work, Nick.
Nick Timpone, fantastic advice. And you know what? As I was listening to Dear Nick's wonderful wisdom, I was also thinking that sometimes in life, the lemon is actually what makes the thing valuable and good, the lemonness of it. My dad just bought a 1977, I think, 1977 Jensen Healy. Have you ever heard of
Jensen Healy.
have you ever heard of a Jensen Healy?
I don't think I have.
You have heard of the Austin Healy, right?
I have, yeah.
So the Healy, car maker, Healy, combined with this dude Jensen, and they made Jensen Healys for a while. And the Jensen Healy had like bad reviews, but it is a crazy fun car to drive. It has a Lotus engine. The way it's built, it was considered like not a lemon of its time, but I think it kind of was. But that's what makes it so great today, right? They're unique, they're wildly fun to drive, and yeah, they have Lotus engines in them. So all to say that sometimes the lemony flavor is what makes something great.
That is interesting. I'm looking it up right now. You said
Look at it.
1976?
I think it's 77 Jensen Healy, if I recall.
So it looks like they were only built in 72 to 76.
Yeah. Okay. Then maybe it's a 74. I can't remember
Okay.
exactly the year.
I mean, they look familiar. Do they
Yeah.
look similar to the Austin Healy?
No, they have a real square body. Austin Healys were more shapely, and Austin
Okay.
Healys are worth a crazy amount, right? Austin Healys are resale on Austin Healys is wild, but the Jensen Healy you can get for a
Wow.
song.
Interesting. Say again, you said Austin
Oh,
Healy's are
Austin Healys are crazy. Even a broken down Austin Healy can go for 40 grand.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
a Jensen Healy you can get for a song.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope that not only solved our listeners' query about the Lemon Surfboard, but also answered some questions maybe that other people had lingering in their head that they weren't certain about. But all those things matter, like Nick said, the temperature, the conditions of where the board is laminated, the construction materials. These are all things that's why you go to a reputable surfboard shaper. You don't buy boards uh, that were built maybe overseas. Maybe you don't know where they were built. It's important to know all that stuff because you'll get more life out of a board. And if you love the board, you'll want that extended life.
Wise.
There you go. Um, Follow up from last week with the kitchen sink drama, or not the kitchen sink drama, the bathroom sink drama with the wife scrubbing the sink with the toilet brush.
Do we have resolution here?
I don't know if it's will make you feel as resolved as you would like it to, but we
I
do have
want
an ending.
I want a real neat bow on this thing, but let me have it. Let me have what we have.
I'll give you what he says, and then I'll try to tie it up afterwards in the neat
Okay.
bow. It says, gentlemen, I thought I would follow up with the whole wife scrubbing the sink with the toilet brush thing. Date night is tough for us to pull off with on the account of kids and life and all. Instead, I waited until things were just the right amount of jovial one night as we were cleaning up after dinner to breach the subject. It went well, but get this. She claims that she was just draining the brush in the sink after scrubbing the toilet. Not only is that also gross, But guys, I'm telling you, I know what I saw. She was scrubbing the sink. So let's just make a note there. Now she's lying. Okay, we'll come back to it. The whole situation has rocked my world. I've done some soul searching. What I've concluded was this. Let's say my wife was the victim in some sort of harsh acid accident tomorrow, and all of a sudden she looks like a toxic crusader. The woman I love is still in there. I would be wrong, or it would be wrong of me to leave her. Suddenly, um, as if a toxic crusader, I have suddenly, as if becoming a toxic crusader, I have discovered that my wife wipes down the living room spaces of our home with fecal matter. She would still be the same woman that I love, the best mom ever, one of the great problem solvers that has ever lived, hell of a gardener. This is just something that we're going to have to live with together. She's a 10, but she scrubs the sink with a toilet brush. Keep working, Kit.
Wow. I mean, but also I love that uh you're trying to what's his name again?
Kit.
Kit. Sorry, Kit. I love that you are trying that you love your wife so much that you have done mental gymnastics in order to accept this. Uh and I don't want to I don't even want to say this, but doesn't it fundamentally change who your wife is or who you thought she was?
It does.
Yeah.
Be listening to our show as well. Because remember how we've complained about if you give your wife flowers once a week and then Valentine's Day rolls around and you give her flowers, she'll be disappointed because
Yeah.
you set an unrealistic expectation. I think Kit's wife knew that she was being taken for granted. Listen to the list of things that she's great at. Like he just said, problem solver. Obviously she's cleaning, she's doing
Gardener.
dishes, all gardener, she's the best mom ever. All of this, he was taking it for granted. So she was like,
Mhm.
I need to recalibrate Kit's sense of expectation. And sure enough, it worked because he's now,
You back?
you're back. You're
Okay,
back.
sweet. Do you when the thing freezes, do you blame the person on the other end always when you're sitting staring at them, even though they're sitting and staring at you frozen too?
Not when I'm in Peru. I know it's Peru's fault.
uh
So I was
no,
just, let me
recap.
refinish it so I can edit it together seamlessly. Um, she was just recalibrating Kit's expectations. And sure enough, Kit has now done some soul searching. And I think she's better off for it.
Well, here's what I'll say too. Even though while I was saying it fundamentally changes her, and listening to you talk, yep, it probably changes her for the better. Who wants a perfect thing is boring. You want a little dose of weird. A perfect food is boring, right? Like a perfect taste. You want some kind of pungent something in there, or you need, variety. And so her being too good at other things means she has to have a weird, gross kink, which makes her much more interesting. That she's lying about. The fact she's lying about it means it's like, ooh, she just likes to do it. She's like in there scrubbing the sink with the toilet brush, just liking it. And Scott Codd's like, what? No, no, you totally caught me washing it. I was washing the toilet. I should have gone outside, but I didn't have shoes on.
She's ignited some spark in their relationship.
Exactly.
She
Zesty.
really has.
Yep.
Um, the fact that she lied about it is really funny to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it is kind of what you said. It's like she has a kink. She was thinking she was doing the kink in private, and then she
Yep.
got busted, and she gave like a half-assed explanation that didn't make any sense at all.
Yep.
And it's kind of like it only proves that it is what it was in the first place.
It,
I'm
it's
all
the
for. Go ahead.
I mean, it really is the exact kind of explanation of getting caught red-handed. Like if
Yeah.
Kit would have written a note and said, "Hi, love you. Thanks for being a good mother and a good gardener. By the way, I saw you washing the sink with the toilet brush." She would have had time to formulate a response. She could have thought, "Oh shoot," and then she could have come back and say, "Oh, it was brand new, that toilet brush. I had just replaced it, and I was cleaning the sink first, and then I was going to go to the toilet, and then never touch this." She could have come up with something that would have been more plausible than "I was washing it when you weren't."
Uh,
Gross, anyway.
have you ever caught your wife in a lie?
Uh, no, weirdly, no. She is a flat out and like ruthless truth teller. One of those.
Wow. I don't think
Yeah.
that exists.
I mean, I'm sure she has, but she catches me a lot. I'll I'll lie, and then she'll say, "Look me in the eye and tell me the truth." And then I'll tell her the truth, and then she said, "You fully lied about it." And then I'll lie about lying about it. I did not lie about it. You said this. No, I didn't. Yeah, what I meant was this. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
I've definitely caught my wife in lies, and it's always like inconsequential, it's something
Yeah.
stupid, but it's like you really as a partner have to decide. You're like, it's stupid anyways. I think we just let this one go. Like
Yeah.
she's a little embarrassed. I don't really want to make her feel even worse. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let this go. But in the back of my mind, I've kind of figured out the tell,
Yeah.
like I can tell there's a little bit of energy that's a little bit different when that lie's coming. And
Yep.
so it's funny. It's a funny dance you do,
With the lie, yeah, the funny dance the wife does around me. Apparently,
apparently.
I'm gonna have to rack my brain, and I'm gonna try to catch her in a lie. I'm gonna
Well,
set a trap.
everybody lies, so I guarantee she is lying. You just haven't figured it out yet.
Man,
But
real
the
dumb.
other funny dance that we do is he said, I waited until we were just the right amount of jovial one night to bring the whole thing up.
Yep.
It's it's also like in a marriage when you're around each other that much, it's like you can't talk about all the things all the time. So you really pick your moments for when you're gonna have the maximum amount of penetration.
Man, it's so true.
It's really funny. The other final thought on all of this is that while he said she could become the what did he
Toxic
use?
Avenger.
Toxic Avenger,
Is that what it
Toxic
was?
Crusader.
Toxic Crusader.
That she could become the Toxic Crusader and he would still stay with her. He also gave us a tally of the things that she's good at. And there's been an ongoing tally of these couple of grievances. Point is, he's still keeping a tally
Yeah.
because there is a time. The cleaning the sink with the brush isn't enough to like end the marriage, but there's now a one in that column. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And so, and fortunately for the family unit there's a lot more in the pros column than there is in the cons column. But I think in reality, everybody is keeping a certain ledger in their own mind. And that's just the reality of humans.
That is really true. Keeping score. Keeping score for when it's time to pull the plug.
You always say you're not,
Yeah.
but somebody starts cleaning the sink with
In
a toilet
case you
brush
are.
and all of a sudden you are. All
Really
right.
funny.
Well, let's go to commercial break real quick, and then we will come back to update our core score, surfing score, and a couple of barrel or nos. All right, Chaz, welcome back from commercial.
A tough core score today, I think.
You think so?
A little bit. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm going in from the top here. I'm gonna say one down for Jack Robinson and Jordy Smith pushing their babies into waves at on Tavarua.
I agree with you there. It's a little too friendly, right?
Yeah, a little too friendly. They should be either in competitive Eye of the Tiger mode or something, but they should be either competitive Eye of the Tiger mode or just partying way too hard, like surfers of yore did on Fiji.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That one's hard. Wasn't even considering that, but that one is a bit cringe.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this bodes well for general family. If we were doing core score on family units, this would be
Yep.
up, but we're not. We're doing core score on surfing. This is a
Yep.
down.
Sorry.
Okay, what about in other surf news? Prince Harry getting barreled.
I'm gonna say no barrel. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say one down. I'm gonna say so I posted it on CNN, the story of luxury surf travel being a thing, right? Did I say I posted on CNN? I
Yeah.
posted on Beach Grit, a CNN story about luxury surf travel becoming a thing, right? And it started with the Abu Dhabi pool, and then it went to a surf vacation, whatever, surf travel outfit. Can't remember what they were called, but minimum price was 150 grand for a 4 day trip. And he's like, and I get it, right? I get the economics. So people are willing to pay for that and all that. I'm not shaming the dude who's doing that. I'm saying if you're paying 150 grand and you're guaranteed, and he said they stop by Abu Dhabi usually or often on the way where they're going for like a warm up. So they're dudes because these rich dudes need a little warm up and then they need to go, get their perfect barrel and then be done with it. No, if you can buy the experience, it is not worth. It's like eroding surfing so much. And so Harry's buying the experience. No,
So how many points do we go down?
let's say two.
All right. Two. I mean, obviously, Prince Harry getting barreled is not great for the core score, but yes, I agree. It represents a much larger conversation, which is what you're talking about, and one that is so foreign to me. Like, I talked to some, coaches, high level pro, like the Brad Gerlachs of the world, Nathan Hedge, all that kind of stuff, Alex Gray, and I I think, I don't know, you get a glimpse into what those guys they get offered to come along on trips.
Yeah.
Basically, you're my surf coach, and then we do one-on-one coaching. That's a higher level. And then the ultimate level is, why don't you come to Fiji with me? You
Yeah.
know? And when you
Going
hear
to
how
Fiji for five
much,
days, flying on the private jet,
yeah.
getting on
And
the yacht. That's
when
what
you hear
Kelly's
what the
doing now.
rate is for what they're getting paid for trips like that, you're just like, holy cow, dude, that's a whole different level.
Which and I appreciate that Nathan Hedge and that Brad Gerlach and these guys can make money doing that, right? Like I don't want to take that away from them. I just
No.
think that, but it's you realize though money makes you Epsteiny. Like what the Epstein was doing to young girls, these rich dudes are doing to waves. I mean, they're just because it's the joy in arriving, right? Is the journey. I don't mean to be philosophical here, but that's as much learning to get barreled without, just figuring it out and doing it in crappy waves. And then one day maybe getting a trip to where it's a good barreling wave and you're there and it's crowded, but you're in the right spot. Your joy, your cup runneth over at that point. Whereas if you're a rich dude who bought it all and you get barreled out, on an empty day at Mac, in the Mentawais or whatever, the Mentawais, Cloud Break, wherever you are getting your barrel. I think it's just all it leaves is a hole of, okay, I consumed that and now I need to consume more.
I think we're experience you and I experience the same exact thing on a different level though. Like, I'm here at this Chicama boutique resort. It's the nicest, most modern resort in all of northern Peru. And so everybody who came here before this had to rough it
That's true.
to a
That's
certain
true.
degree. And I'm sitting here with AC and Wi-Fi and getting a boat to tow me back out. Like that's gaudy for a lot of other people.
But I will say that those people who roughed it, their experience is and was better than yours is. Your joy level is maxing out at a 10. Their joy level, their 10 was a lot higher. The struggle to get there, right? Imagine back in the day having to fly into Lima or whatever, and then get a train somewhere, and then a rickety taxi somewhere, and then get dumped off on this barren moonscape with just your tent and, enough rations for whatever. I mean, when I went in Yemen, surfing Socotra Island out there, uh, on an island, we literally got dumped on the island. Dude drove away and said, I'll be back in a week. We were absolutely feral for a week. That's probably the funnest surfing I've ever had in my entire life.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm not going back.
No, you can't go back. That rich dude can't go back either, right?
Yeah,
Rich dude can't go say, okay, I'm missing out. You're just screwed at some point.
it really is the problem.
Yeah,
I still have a long way to move forward in
sure.
luxury and
W-
accommodation.
Yep. Before you
So,
get to Epstein Island,
exactly. I'll tell you what, though, while I was sick in bed yesterday, I was thrilled to have this accommodate like a plush room, internet, and air conditioning.
absolutely. But it
You
also
wouldn't.
might have been why you were sick. If you were out there roughing it, your
Oh,
system would just be tough. Be like, yep, swat away disease like it's going out of style.
could be.
Yep.
Um, okay, surfing score. Last week, a Sydney plumber won the Uluwatu Single Fin Classic over professional surfers.
Core score up 5. I don't know. I
Wow.
don't think you can do anything less than up 5.
Yeah, that was a big one, right?
Yeah, that's core way up.
That is, yeah. And if you would have said Sydney bartender, it would have been
Yep.
like core score three, maybe.
Yep.
But the fact that he's a plumber,
Core score five.
okay,
Yeah.
makes up for the other losses this week. And then finally, SUPer tries to kill a woman in Morro Bay with his stand-up paddle.
I hate to do it, but I gotta say core score up one.
Wow. Explain yourself.
Uh, I mean, I, we don't like it, but it's true that surf rage is part of being core. If you never feel surf rage, if you're all like, "Hey, party wave," every wave's a party wave. Uh, that's the way modern kids do it, right? Or the people out there on soft tops. Him getting so mad in such crappy conditions, but he's also not a surfer. Uh, he's a supper beating someone with a paddle. It's still very funny. It's funny enough for me to I don't even need to think about it much more. It's just up. I like that story. And I like that these stories hit the mainstream news because I would hope that it gives someone pause out there like, "Ooh, I was thinking about going to Surf Morro Bay, but are there people out there who beat you with a paddle?" Oh,
That could be your only argument for core score going up on this one, is
there we
that it
go.
deters people from surfing.
Yes. That's it.
Be-
Stumbled
because
upon it.
yeah, because I agree, like we all feel surf rage, but there's no action that a woman could take in the lineup
No, the fact that it
that
was a
I
woman
would,
is,
yeah, that I
yeah,
would then
I
get to the
forgot that
point
it
of
was a
hitting
woman.
her. Yeah. I mean, even a dude probably, like, I don't know what he could do that would make me want to hit him with my paddle
Well, the fact that you're hitting
and
with the
drown
paddle,
him.
the fact that you are on a sup to begin with, and we don't talk about it enough on the program, but if you're a supper, you should just be ashamed of yourself. It's okay to do it. It can be your kink, just like cleaning bathroom sinks with toilet brushes is other people's kink. But you shouldn't be proud of it. You should be absolutely ashamed that you're a supper. You should say, I sup and I'm embarrassed.
So do you think what affects this guy's image in the community worse? The fact that he's outed for trying for hitting a woman or the fact that he's outed as a supper?
I mean,
Because now his name's known by everybody.
no, his name's known. I gotta say that trying to drown and beat a woman in the lineup is worse than being a supper. There are some things worse than being a supper. That is one of them. But supper is right down there below it, not too far.
Yeah, well, he's got two bad things that he's going to have to recover from now.
Man, yeah, that one. If she presses, I mean, if she, what the woman would have to cooperate in order for this guy to get maximum time. She'd have to go testify and all that. Do you think she's going to go and talk about her ordeal out in Morro Bay?
I haven't heard anything from her or about her, but I do know that the he was originally indicted on attempted murder, and he had a $500,000 bond, and they reduced the charges to
Assault.
assault. Yeah, assault charges and $25,000 bond, so a major decrease there. So I have a feeling it wasn't as bad as initially reported, but I don't know what her role in this. I know she declined the medical
Yep.
treatment on site, so it might be minor, you know. I mean, the drowning is always a real problem for me because the other things there's degrees of hitting somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like he could have just tapped her, like, hey, and poked her away or something, or he could have bashed her over the head 10 times. Those are two
Yeah.
different things. But drowning somebody's head underwater, there's not a lot of degrees of that. Once you
Nope.
do it even a little bit, it's terrible.
Yeah. Once you do it, it's exactly true. Even a little drowning is bad.
A little drowning is already like, whoa, dude, you snapped, like you
Yeah.
lost control of yourself. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so that's a bad one for him. Yeah, so I don't know what her thoughts on it are, but can you imagine if you were her husband?
Oh man. She comes back and tells you the tale of the dude who tried to drown her.
I'm like, turns out I'm the one who's going to jail now
Yeah. Yeah.
because
No
I
kidding.
will hunt this guy down and make things right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. This dude, yeah. I mean, I hope he gets the book. Very rarely do I hope people get the book thrown at them. This dude, I hope he gets the full book for being a supper
Yeah,
mostly, though.
yeah. But you're still going core score up?
I'm going core score up one as the deterrent.
Okay, well, we didn't do it last week, but the score from the week prior was 57. So we're going down 3 to 54, but then up 6 based on those last two. So we're going to flatline at 60 this week.
Nice. Even.
All right. Barrel or nah? FaceTime calls. Alejandro wrote in and said, longtime listener and contributor, and I've recently come to the realization that I hate FaceTime calls. Aside from issues with connection, if the internet isn't perfect, I feel like I'm being held captive. If the point is to see the other person, then why are most FaceTime calls devolving into somebody driving, doing dishes, or just being busy with another activity? I can't help but feel that it's a huge demand on both parties' attention, and the normal phone call is just the way to go. Please work, Alejandro.
Alejandro, thank you for bringing this up. It is a absolute no barrel. Though I can't speak for our younger listeners, and by younger, I mean our all the teenage listeners we have. It feels like teenagers exclusively FaceTime. It doesn't matter. Like, daughter is always FaceTime her buddy and then throwing her phone on her bed. So it's just, I'll walk in, I'll see her talking, gaming, whatever she's doing, talking to her buddy. The phone is just pointing at the ceiling fan. And so I'll just see the ceiling fan going on the FaceTime. And her other buddy has her phone, upside down on her pillow on FaceTime. So,
That's ridiculous.
but that's the way kids do not call. They FaceTime. Uh, when daughter FaceTimes me, it doesn't work because our phones are tied. So I think we're sharing the same Apple ID or whatever, so it doesn't work. She cannot, for the life of her, press the button just regular call for me. Like, I'll see her FaceTime come in, then it'll say FaceTime call failed, and then I will have to call her back and say, "You need to call me to talk to me." Regular call. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Never once does it. So
That's hilarious.
kids don't call is what I'm saying. But Alejandro, speaking of adults, absolutely no barrel. The phone call exists to cover talking. That's what it is for. It's not staring at somebody. So exactly to your point, Alejandro, if you're a grandpa and you're FaceTiming grandkids to look at them and stuff, then that's fine. I get that modern application, but he's right. That's not the way people use it. People use it to do other stuff.
I hated text messaging when texting first started. I was like, what's the point? You call me or you don't, like, and of course now prefer texting over calling. And the same thing has happened to me with FaceTime. I hated it. And then when we were doing it back in the day where you actually looked at one another while you were doing it, that's where I felt held captive. I have to now stare into this phone while we're having this conversation. But since it's transitioning to the point of I can do dishes at the same time, I can move around the house, I think it's actually become a lot more tolerable
But what's the point of FaceTime over calling?
because you want to seeing the other people adds a certain dimension
You
to
want to
it.
you want to see them a little bit. You want to see them when they answer, and then when they put their phone somewhere else.
So I'm not doing what your daughter does, but where I found it to be helpful is grandparents want to see Austin. So it's like, cool, we get together and we FaceTime. But then Austin runs out of the room or whatever, he gets bored. And maybe I have to go follow him to help him get a snack. So I'm moving through the house with the FaceTime. We still get these increments throughout the call where it is face to face and you are seeing each other, but there's also a mobility to it to where I'm able to kind of get done other things while still on FaceTime. So it's not 100% of the call they're looking at the ceiling, it's 30%, let's say.
Okay. I mean, I see you there, and I think about my own behaviors too. When wife's traveling or I'm traveling, typically we will FaceTime, and it will be exactly that. It'll be a little bit of FaceTime
Yeah.
and a lot of other stuff. Uh, but I still prefer a call.
Do you?
Yeah,
See, this morning I had the FaceTime with the wife and the kid, and it was nice seeing them. And I think he needed to see me.
sure. With the kid, that's the caveat here. But
Yeah.
adult to adult, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it's a no barrel.
Well, I'm gonna go barrel. You're gonna go no barrel. Alejandro, give it some time. Come around
Yeah.
to it, I think.
I don't know.
Um,
Texting is convenient.
well, texting reigns supreme for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Okay. This is a solid call from a listener. Brings me back to a yesteryear.
Calling for the grit. This is still Chris from Florida with a barrel or nah, which I experienced in the parking lot of my Hurricane Erin super session. As I was leaving the showers, a certified crispy critter lady with her kids had a full-on conversation with me while having a cigarette in her mouth. The cigarette never left her mouth. She proceeded to have a full conversation. The thing was lit. It was jiving all around her mouth, but it never came out. She never touched it. I'm not a cigarette smoker. I believe Chaz Smith once was, and I think there's been barrel and ahs about cigarette smoking. I'm a huge nah on cigarettes, but this was like mind-blowing to me. I'm like, how is this thing not falling out of her lips right now? She's like talking to me about the surf and it's crazy beach day, and I'm like mesmerized almost at her control over this lit cigarette and the ability to hold conversation. So yeah, barrel or not, talking while having a lit cigarette in your mouth, I guess. All right, cheers. Later. Keep work.
Oh, it's always been so impressive to see people do
Absolute
that.
barrel. I mean, it's like a John Wayne / cartoon character thing to do. Like absolute barrel for the crispy critter.
Okay, start
Yeah.
again. You said absolute barrel. It's like John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne or a cartoon character or something, right? Like complete, like it just show that person has had a life for sure and has other skills as well.
It's crazy that like you've spent that much time with a cigarette in your mouth to where it now just becomes an appendage for your
Yep.
body.
Yep. Don't even think about it. Oh, that little thing?
It's like bouncing around, and it also means you've it's I wonder if the cigarette's gone if they still talk the same way with their part of their mouth closed.
I mean, man, yeah, probably. To develop that skill,
Yeah, you'd
you'd
have
have
to.
to have muscle memory.
Um, Friend just texted and said he just spent the last week on Tavarua with Slater, or Kelly was staying there, so he was with Slater throughout the time. And Kelly was staying on island, but that yacht, it was his friend from New Zealand who sent the yacht as backup,
Cool.
just in
Just
case,
in case. It's
in
great.
case.
I mean, I just wish, I wish truly that Kelly Slater, he doesn't do it as bad, but like Leonardo DiCaprio and all his the people who say they are environmentalists or care, they should just say, I don't care anymore. Please just say, I don't care anymore because I want a backup yacht there. I mean,
It's
imagine
pretty
the
cool to have a backup yacht. He said they
sure.
were using it as a place to grab drinks,
Yeah. Imagine the, amount of fuel takes to get a yacht from New Zealand to Fiji just to hang out, just to be there.
just to grab cocktails in the
Yeah.
evening.
Sweet.
Jealous.
Good job, Kelly.
Um, I'm gonna reckon the dude who sent the yacht does not know how to talk with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Bet so too. But I bet
Yeah,
he knows how to have a cigar with brandy.
that's probably true.
Yep.
Final barrel or not for you as it relates to my travel here to Peru. Neck pillows for the plane.
No barrel. Uh, Toughen up, people. First, those early iterations of neck pillows flat out didn't work, right? Like I remember trying one on in an airport store at one point, and it didn't hold my head up. My head went exactly as much over as it does normally. And now I'm assuming that the technology has gotten better, and now there is one that keeps your head up, and you can just like, but just toughen up. Some things are what they are. Nodding off weird while sleeping on a plane is part of life. If you don't like it, make money and get a lay flat in business class.
Um, I've never used a neck pillow. I don't know why it took me so long, but this trip we were doing a red eye overnight flight. So I'm like, I have to sleep on that flight somehow. So I'm just gonna get the neck pillow and see if it works. It was incredible.
Wow,
I
really?
slept, I slept like 6 hours solid.
Okay, so you're recommending.
I'll send you the one that I got specifically. I don't know that they all work the same, but in fact, I know they don't because I read the reviews and one of the reviews said, I travel all the time. I've used three different neck pillows and then I finally got this one. This one works the best.
Okay, I'm willing to change for this because you're right. I mean, I want to say toughen up, but also long haul red eyes. But also, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say I don't need any more accessories still, even if
Well,
I could sleep.
my whole thing originally was toughen up. I'm like, I will figure out if I'm really tired, I'll figure out a way to sleep. So I'm just gonna, but I also don't take a lot of red eye flights. So I would sleep on maybe long flights, but not necessarily overnight flights. So I always just toughed it up. And then I also don't want another thing to carry through the
Yeah,
airport,
that's
right?
what I'm saying.
So this thing has a little carbiner that you put on your backpack. So it's not even taking up room in your backpack. So I'm like, okay, don't have to worry about that. And it's an overnight flight. So let's at least try it once. And it does hold your neck up entirely propped up as if you were like laying, there's like zero gravity. Like your head, it just holds it perfectly. And then I figured out another thing where I loosened it slightly to where I could kind of tuck my chin into the gap. And then it was my head was at an angle, but positioned perfectly at an angle, like I was sleeping on a pillow. It was
Wow.
incredible.
Okay. Well,
Highly recommend.
I'm willing to convert.
Great sleep on the plane,
I don't
which
want
never
to.
happens.
I don't want to convert, but I'll
Okay.
think about it.
Consider it.
I can't. Yeah, still no
All
barrel.
right. All right. Well, you do you and don't sleep well.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll be on Noble Rod on Monday, which I think might be finals day. Oh, finals day is
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Finals day, Labor Day too. Is it guaranteed Tuesday? Have they already said it?
It's not, nothing's guaranteed,
Okay.
but it's looking like it's going to be Tuesday.
Let's hope. Let's hope just
Yeah.
to get this over with.
Labor Day. Are we doing Noble Rod on Labor Day?
I think we are.
Okay. I'm in.
Yeah. Sweet.
We don't celebrate that down here.
We'll labor. We'll labor, celebrate Labor Day by laboring. That's what the ballet teacher sent the email that was everybody's asking, is class going to be canceled on Monday? The answer is no. We are going to celebrate Labor Day by laboring.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Put those kids to work, and I will see you there on Monday. And until then,
Keep work.
all right.
Great.
Thank you.
Have